Guys, it's me, Noelle. I just wanted to do a little recording here as I paint to just sort of talk through some of the artistic processes I'm going through. And I thought it could be kind of like a talk that anyone that's painting might want to listen to. I like listening to people talk about their artistic experiences and advice when I'm painting, and it's just rather encouraging. I find I wanted to do a video showing what I'm working on. Hopefully you can hear me okay. There's a fan going on, and hopefully that have a little instrumental music going on. That would be pretty, at least for me, and hopefully you like it too. I just spent the whole day basically getting my gallery ready because I'm going to be having an art lesson tomorrow and have a couple people coming to my home art gallery and purchasing something, hopefully. Um, so I'm about to start right in the beginning of a painting, another fairy. I'm kind of in a series right now I'm sorry, that's getting some erasers off the painting. I thought it would be kind of cool to do a little slide of my art if I get the technology going, if I can figure that out. But I've been working on figures, and I find it just like really good to paint with the idea in mind that it's a study. Like, rather than having this grandiose plan of like, this is exactly where I want it to go, it's great to have a plan when you're starting out and have something in your mind, like in some regard. But other times, I find that just going ahead and painting for the purpose of like a study, like if you're in a rut, because sometimes I get artist block, and it's been really useful to just resort to painting things that, not overthinking it, just painting flowers or painting just things that I'm interested in at the moment. And it's just really useful because it gets the work going. Sometimes it's hard to get past that initial rut of like starting out a painting, and it's just very useful to get find tools that are helpful. And because let's face it, guys, painting is not like always easy. It's not always fun. There's complete there are moments of complete bliss and moments of just trying to figure it out. But this is kind of interesting. This is my first time recording this, so I'm also multitasking here and trying to find my palette knife for a little bit of mixing. Where is that? Well, anyways, let me try to get back to what I was talking about. So just getting past that initial rut is so useful, and getting momentum. And I guess I could just share a little experience I had yesterday for artists that may want to be aware of what's out there and things to be cautious of. So I recently am getting all media savvy, social media, and got a Twitter account. I am working on posting on Etsy, and I kind of avoided these things for a while for several reasons I could talk about later. I just avoided sharing my art online for multiple reasons. But anyhow, I did it, and I put myself out there on Twitter. I opened an account and had my little. I started posting. I actually linked it to Instagram, so anything that I post on Instagram just goes straight there to Twitter. So I was getting some messages, and I decided to do something a little different. I recently was talking to someone about selling art. Um, and just he wasn't an artist himself, but he studied art, or he studied sales and ways to be a genuine salesperson. Because let's be honest, we don't want to, at least for me, like I never want to just trick someone into buying something. And he gave me some really amazing tools about asking the right questions and figuring out the right things to determine, if this person is um, a potential, um, customer. So I was just excited, and I went ahead and decided to use these tools for the first time, asking they're called like power questions, where you just ask the right targeted questions that can engage the person. Well, I already talked about that, but yeah, so I was going along and chatting with this woman who looked like a politician. She said she was from LA. She was uh, interested in my art. She was just showing um, interest, and I just I was just excited, doing this new ideas about, you know, maybe it was encouraging. It was exciting because I thought, oh, this is actually going somewhere. Because I thought just somebody, if they're not interested, they would just tell me, right? They would just say, thank you, but I'm not interested, and that's fine. Like, it's just part of the game as an artist. But I went ahead and I followed along because I think it was because of the excitement of like these new tools I had, um, and anyways, yeah. So I uh, was talking to her for off and on for 4 hours, mostly on, because I was doing most of the talking. I was sharing pictures of paintings, and said she wanted to buy like 5 paintings, and she wanted to commission me to paint a kid she sponsored from Africa, like a portrait of him and her and her husband, and she wanted me to, find paintings that can decorate a room she had in her house, and it just seemed legit. It looked like she could be wealthy enough to buy all those paintings. So I followed along, and yeah. So caution to the creatives out there: there are people that even when you think they're, where do they come from? It was, in the end, she wanted to steal my money, and she wanted me to give her my bank information, particularly security questions. And I was like, what? And so I know that was wrong. So when my younger self may have not have known that. So yeah, I was like, okay, I need to get my banker on the phone, and this is not good. This is really sketchy. And I mean, in the end, I did not get scammed, but I did feel, you know, stolen of like my time, because that was time very valuable. I could have been actually painting or doing something of use. Wanted to call my sister and that and all that. So yeah, lessons learned. One thing for people that might have experiences is she, or it may not even been a woman, but totally, um, she used really bad grammar, and it sounded kind of slang, kind of gangster, and that was kind of a red flag that I didn't pick up on, just because I was wrapped up in the excitement of like, I'm gonna sip of my chai tea here, vanilla chai. So yeah, I kind of just didn't, threw caution to the wind at the moment, because I thought, well, if anyone's scamming, wouldn't I be the one to maybe scam her? I thought that she should be the one to be scared of being scammed, and so I did not see it coming. So yeah, bad grammar, kind of slang. I don't know. Um, it's just good to be cautious online. Obviously, like on the internet is a very dangerous place in a lot of ways. I had some bad experiences on Instagram as well. But it's also good to I think put yourself out there. I used to be hesitant. I was going to mention that, hesitant to even put my art online. Um, so I find that I'm in the place where I'm comfortable with it now, but I used to not be. And one of the reasons is because, theft and people um, stealing the images and using them, for profit or using them just for personal. Both are stealing, in my opinion. I just didn't want that. I didn't know how to properly watermark my images when I was younger. And I found that it was a lot to get over. Like, it took a lot, it was a hurdle. It's completely okay to be reserved about sharing. I don't think every artist needs to share. I think there's a lot of pressure, like, oh, you need to do this. But art is incredibly personal. It's incredibly vulnerable when it comes to just, the background of it and the emotion that a person puts into it. Like, it's like part of their spirit, it's part of their being in a way. Like, it's an extension of them. So it really wasn't right for me in particular, putting my art online when I was younger. And, part of me has a little bit like, man, I wish I did, because I would have maybe a larger audience. But then again, um, it wasn't right for me at the time, because I was really in such a, um, I don't want to use the word vulnerable, but when when there's a person just learning about the different studying different parts of art and creation, it does have an aspect of vulnerability. Like, words hurt more when you're not used to criticism, and if things are taken maybe more personally. When I was younger, if people had negative criticisms and even critical advice, the useful type, when it has um, suggestions where it's like, okay, this is, and maybe it's an artist, like giving critical advice is normally useful, but I I was really not in the place that I wanted to. In my opinion, it was kind of like throwing my pearls to, whoever. This, I hate to use the swine. That's like a Bible verse, like throwing pearls to the swine. Swine are pigs, by the way. Um, so I just personally wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for the exposure and the vulnerability that would put in place. And I didn't know about proper watermarking and even taking pictures of images. I had to learn all these things. And I just wanted to kindle the time and not feel pressured to create art that always looked like perfect. Because sometimes when people share art online, there's a pressure that every piece has to be just right. And I think that can actually um, be disable people from taking risks and creating something that is maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone, like that they know they won't execute 100% well right away. And um, that is really important for artists just starting out. And as long as a person is comfortable with everything that I already mentioned that I wasn't comfortable with, and also willing to create art that they may not share, because, you know, I have to say, I have a lot of very ungood, that's not even the right way. I have a lot of art that's just not great, from when I was just experimenting and getting my hands wet with my hands literally, just, getting my feet in the water in the art world and exploring the different mediums. And there's a lot of things I wouldn't share, but I think that it's all just part of the the journey. It's such like every piece that you make shares is a part of your story. Like, you may not like the piece or you may love it, but it shares a part of the story and the part of your personal growth. And um, I don't think that should be something that is like, that should be actually completely like treasured, and it should be like, I don't think art, okay, what am I trying to say? I've known artists who sometimes don't like their art so much, like their earlier works, that they burn them. They actually put them in the bonfire. And for me in particular, like, I just could never. I feel like every piece is part of my journey, and it should be kind of, in a way, like loved, kind of like you would love yourself, like it's an extension of you, and you love your younger self just like you would love your older, like your current self and your future self. And I think art should be um, not treated like something of, I don't know, like, I think that probably makes sense. But I also think that this is something I had to learn, is that every painting I make is not always going to be like the best all the time. And there's like, I shouldn't just stop like, oh, this is, I'm there, or feel like I got I got somewhere with my abilities completely. Like, I always need to be knowing that I have more growth and more just um areas, yeah, just areas of growth. And I don't think any artist should be feeling like they're there, and that their art is something that needs to be held up in such a high regard all the time. Some pieces, sure, there's always those I call them benchmark pieces, like pieces that just, you feel like you're getting somewhere, like you feel like finally, finally something, I feel like I'm happy with my work, or um, like, wow, like I've come so much further than I've been. Yeah, so yeah, that's just a few thoughts I had about that. Let me think if there's anything else I want to talk about in this video. Um, let's see. There's probably things that I can maybe make in a different video, but I feel like that's a good start. My painting is going well. I'm actually almost finished with the figure, and it's only been 20 minutes. Just like the structure of her, and she's actually going to be going. She's looking up. She's sitting, and it's a full body. I'm going to put wings on her like a fairy. And I actually had this really cool experience the other month, where I couldn't sleep, and I decided to go outside in the middle of the night. It was literally 3, and I went outside, and I got like a little bench or a little chair thingy, and I put it in the middle of the lawn, in the middle of the dark. My husband was actually up gaming at the moment, so I saw him through the window, but he didn't see me. And I just sat there, and I had my bundly jacket on, and I was just actually just kind of contemplating. I had a lot on my mind at the moment, and yeah, I looked up, and the sky was full of these clouds, like patchwork clouds, almost like puzzle pieces that needed to fit together, that just scattered throughout the entire sky. And they were so beautiful, and they were moving, like they were just, oh my gosh, they were mesmerizing. And I had this picture of a painting idea that came from that. And I'll just say, night dreamer. I mean, I normally would not give away something so fresh and so young of my inspiration. But yeah, night dreamer. I know that everyone dreams, normally people dream at night. But yeah, it was like I was daydreaming, except at night. You know how you look at the clouds during the day, and you find pictures that are, oh, that looks like a dolphin or whatever. Well, that's how it was at night. And I was like, oh, and I was just like in this moment of like figuring out my destiny, and just kind of funny, honestly. Funny things. I don't know if you guys have experiences like that. I feel like I'm different in that way. Like, I don't know. Um, yeah, I'd like to think that I'm not alone. And that's why I want to make videos, is just hearing someone talk about their experiences. And sometimes, people can be, it's lonely as an artist. There's not always a lot of people to talk to, and I'm probably acting kind of funny, like I've never done a video like this where I'm talking into a recorder, but it's kind of funny, like, yeah, there's a lot of isolation. I don't want to sound like a crazy person is what I was trying to say, but yeah, there's a lot of isolation. It's a lot of time by yourself, and I think it's just really great to have encouragement while you're painting and while you're creating, and just to know you're not alone, and your journey is, you're getting somewhere, I promise. Like, whatever your goals are, even if they're just not even goals, just if there's something you're so passionate about, um, and you're just moving forward, and we're all taking steps towards our destiny. um, that's just, sorry, I laugh because that's something my husband and I joke about finding our destiny and trying to get to our destiny, and it becomes kind of like almost in a very jokey manner. But anyway, yeah, I just, yeah, I'm just excited. I hope that somebody sees this video. I don't really expect for it to like go big at all. I don't even know if my own family will watch it, but if you happen to stumble upon this video, I just want to just speak encouragement and life into your journey and your whatever creative journey you might be in, whether it be painting like I do, or digital art, or photography, or just, I mean, there, any creative. So yeah, and I guess that's it. I'm gonna see how this goes, if I'll actually be able to upload it, because I'm recording myself on a little online app. So yeah, wish me luck. If you even see this, it went well. But again, yeah, this is Noelle and Noelle Perry, yeah, in Utah. And feel free to reach out if you ever want to. Um, my website is noelleperry.com, which is NoellePerry.com. And many blessings to you. Thank you.